I'm big great to you, good fellas out there. We're still seeking for answers and trying to sort of differentiate the things that sort of causes resentment and hatred and all that among us and life. You know, not misleading, not misleading us in the sense that we will not have a different viewpoint in terms of what is right from what is wrong. I might have a video coming up that most of the video I'll say, and what comes up every time to sort of signify or give some idea that I probably am an anti-religious or someone who's an activist against religion. Then again, I see it as okay, it's normal, because why can't I be an activist against religion? It's not a secret. I'm very clear about my point. I'm definitely against big religion. I don't think religion or culture is necessary in our life. I also don't see it being against it as if it should totally, in terms of hatred. No, it is not about hatred. It is more to do with seeing it as something which is a memorable moment for us, a cultural, an event that we could keep to be added to our historical roots or anything to do with our links. We could use that as something which was being practiced, or ways of which people held on to live life and to build life to what it is today. Just like we see the museums, and you go to a museum and those artifacts and all those things being kept, religion is not our way of life. If you modernize religion, it's impossible to modernize religion. No matter what it is, culture, it is impossible to modernize it. It's a progressive state. But my problem is the idea, because it is it's not been so possible to modernize it or bring that progressiveness that it does need or require. It makes it impossible for you to sort of keep encouraging it or entertaining ourselves to sort of still keep up with the religion and make culture our core way, because it sort of keeps us back instead of letting us make that stepping stone, taking the stepping stone. So many people are laid back and are not being able to move forward because of that. Because the rules and everything, the rules and regulations and everything that borders religion and culture has a very difficult viewpoint that is hard to sort of change or make amendments in so many ways. Even though people are doing it, it also has its consequences in terms of the spiritual side of it that we have to consider. So basically that's what I see. But it's also mainly to clarify myself. It is not against people, because I'm a person myself. Religion is quite outside of the identification of a person. It's outside of the identity of a person. It is also just like any other attachment that people get themselves engaged in, or a practice that people see as, if they get themselves engaged in, it will help them to enhance their image. So that's just what I have come up to look at religion, in the sense that it's role play in how a person's decision making in life is played out. Its effect is very much so irrelevant and so ineffective, and most of it, serious part of it, is it causes damaging, very serious damage to our entire society or our approach to life in so many ways. And people have to recognize that, and it does require for people to recognize that. So it becomes necessary for people to come out, like I'm coming out, to say so in any way I can, in a small way that I can. So I choose this medium to do so. Now, if people who are so deeply into it and so committed and thinking that it is okay, I don't blame them, because I also see it as something which is very much possessive. Religion and culture can be very, very possessive. So there are people who today fight to keep their religion and their culture because they see it as the identity of who they are that differentiates them from any other person. And so they hold on to that. In fact, even those of whatever civilized state of world even have the same sort of issue, which they also do everything possible to maintain their culture. This has been the commonest character that I see that happens among most people in life. I have mine, but I have learned to grow out of it, to realize that there isn't any benefactor, any benefits in trying to, protect my culture or my religion, especially in a situation where I cannot see it being manifested in its truest form or in its honest, how honest it should be, or in the most sincerest way ever. People might have their views, they might have their resentment, whatever way it is. The idea is that if you are engaging yourself in something and that thing has got some consequences which is evil or damaging to your soul, I don't see why you should encourage it. Now, even if not to your soul, or to it does demonstrate anything regarding fear, damaging. Evil always have that kind of, that is the image of evil. Anything that has got the ability of doing evil, or the ability of damaging or destroying what is already there, or what is already should exist in its form, wherever way you see it, is evil. Whatever it is that stands against whatever that is good is evil. That's the simple definition I can give to it. So in that sense, if you and I, as we go through these books, and the books I say is the Bible and the Quran, that's what I have at the moment. I had to be very honest. There are other books as well, but that's what I am into, or what I study. Others will probably take their role in different avenue or different directions, because there are people who also express themselves, willingly. So if we get a clear view of what our viewpoints and our stance are, in what religion, the role that religion had to play in your life and my life, and we realize that it has got effects, damaging effects, that somehow deforms us or brings all sort of negativities to our life, then it becomes necessary for us to be very frank and confrontational, to be able to sort of make a clear way, a clear path that we all can go through. And I see that there is no room for us to make a clear path whilst religion is still an essential thing to the human growth or the human development. Why do I say that? In fact, that's what I have seen, or that I've experienced as times goes on. If you are deeply into religion and you feel offended by my approach, I don't blame you. As I said, it's mostly because people get possessive with their religion and culture, and sometimes to the extent that they even end up doing the damaging things, because there is even that advices there, which also makes the religion itself become very equally violent, in seeing violence as a means of protecting itself. Now, and I said it before from the previous video, I mean, if you think that you have to protect yourself or defend yourself, it's fine. I mean, we all defend ourselves, even though I may have my viewpoint. But if we want to be together to say no to something instead of saying yes to something, we can say yes to good things, but if we want to say no to something which is bad, we have to say it together. We have to come to that point realizing that no, Because if I say I'm going to defend myself, if you hit me and I hit you, you hit me and I hit you, I'm defending myself anyway.